and welcome to Thursday's Dee Talk Live. Tonight, we are talking about obviously body image, we're talking about change, we're talking about cosmetic surgery, we're talking about things that you do to change yourself and why. Topics about body and image have been such a big topic. At the moment, more so, but in recent times as well. So a lot has happened since I was young. So since I was a millennial or I was a Generation X, let's just say. So when I was younger, I'm going to tell you my story, how I changed, how I evolved. I was a young woman going through puberty, and I used to get teased at school a lot. And it was always to do with my breasts. So they always used to tease me because I had bigger breasts than most of the other girls. But for me, I was put in a position where I was made to feel very small. But then I had beautiful relatives around me, a beautiful family around me that said to me, do not, and we repeat, do not sit there and worry about what people are saying to you about your breasts. You should be so proud of who you are in every single facet of yourself. And you know what? After that, I was flaunting them and I didn't care. I used to have to wear 2 to 3 skivvies because I was so embarrassed, because I kept on being teased, bullied for them, made extremely small, and made to feel just absolute horrible because of the person that I was. And hi Martha, hi Strat. And I'm sure, as Strat is saying, I'm sure a lot of people have got the same problem. And that's where image comes into it. But then now we've got this image in our society where you're supposed to be looked in a way, or made to look in a way, or believed to be seen in a way where you're this clone, right? So you're not exactly yourself. You're somebody else. And we were never like that. We were all individual back in the days. It was all about being an individual and standing in our own skin and standing in our own right and being so proud of who we were, because times weren't tough. The children these days, the millennials, the younger ones, the ones to come, they're going to live in such a hard world because they're expected to be this and they're expected to be that. And so much is always pushed onto them because it's what's expected. It's harder, but it shouldn't have to be like that. I understand that social media or celebrities make you feel you have to be this specific way, my young'uns, but you don't. You've got to be you, and you've got to be proud to be this person, and the way that you carry yourself should be enough. It's your identity. That's what I try to say in regards to identity. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of, what you're about, internally and externally. And changing oneself shouldn't be about, let's just say, let me go and get a specific procedure done because somebody else has got it. I understand cosmetic surgery is one of the biggest billion-dollar companies going. I understand it. I understand people get it done for specific reasons. I am not against it. I repeat, I'm not against it, but please do it for the right reasons. Not because you see yourself as a person that is not beautiful enough, or is not confident enough, or is not able to come and stand in her own right and say, hey, you know what? I'm so powerful and I don't need to be like everybody else. I need to be Dee, That's what it's all about. People are getting procedures Brotox, believe it or not, there's Brotox. That's for men. It's a new one. And statistically speaking, it actually is a lot popular with males at the moment as well, this Botox. So it's an underlying fact and a major problem we're having, because society never used to tell us what we should be or who we should be. It was always appreciate who you are, love who you are, and stand in your own right and love every part of you, because that's what's most important. So I love you guys. You're beautiful. Hey Mary, hey Sophia, hey Georgia. Hello to everybody who is out there. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. And I am very concerned about this. And we have a spring summer article that's coming out. It's called Put a Needle in It and question mark. And it goes into this whole idea of cosmetic surgery and change. When I first started What Dee Thinks, I was a changed woman. Not externally at all, but internally. Because I had gone through so much and have gone through so much in my life, you've got two choices. You've got the choice of feeling sorry for yourself and not continuing on and living your life, right? Or you've got the choice, the one that I took, to go out there and show the world who you really were or who you really are. Because that's where I was, and now this is where I am. I've changed so much as a person that people around me don't recognize me anymore, because I was never able to express that person if it wasn't for that person that left my life. He was the biggest privilege in my life, and you all will understand why that is. He was the best thing that ever happened to me, and he made me realize what was important to me, what I was supposed to do in this lifetime or in this society or with these young'uns. He actually made me understand. And not only did he make me understand, he made me believe. He made me believe in myself. And that's where the idea of What Dee Thinks came from. And not only did it come from there, but it was always inside of me. I'll give you guys a story. So, a long time ago, when we were doing our events every week, I used to go into the toilets. I was a counsellor of the toilets. I used to get young girls coming up to me and telling me I'm ugly. And I used to look at them in the eye and say, no, you're not. You're beautiful. And look at yourself in the mirror. And there was a mirror always there. I would say to that girl, look at yourself in the mirror. What do you see? She goes, I'm just ugly. And I'm like, no, you're not ugly. You're not looking hard enough. Look inside of yourself and look. And she'd turn around and she'd say to me, oh my God, you've made me realize something. And I'm like, what have I made you realize? That I don't need to listen to the exterior noise in order to make my perception viable of myself in everyday life. Because who cares what people think of you at the end of the day? Because at the end of the day, it's you. You should love yourself for everything, for all your goods and your bads. Unconditional love always starts with thyself, with yourself. And that's where a lot of these children, a lot of these millennials need that guidance from us. They need it because at the end of the day, they don't have that mentor, that person to look up to like we did. We were a different generation. Generations change as the years go on. And they do change to specifics. There might be something that changes slightly. As I was talking about, social media. Social media is huge. We didn't have it. So it's a big influencer. But the way our children, the way these millennials and Generation Next feel sometimes needs to be addressed, because so many of them are in a mental state where they need someone to be there and they can't help themselves because they don't have the knowledge that we're able to give them. We've lived a lot longer. We've got a lot more life experience. That's where we need to stand there and support them, regardless if you know the person or not. The more you support, the more you're there, the more of a difference we're going to make. That's the whole point. And the more educated you are, the more substance you can give it to that person. Like I did. I was the counsellor at the toilets. And I never knew why. Even in terms of the retail sector, I was in the retail sector I have been for over, because fashion is my forte, I've been in it for over 20 years. And the number of young individuals that used to come up to me and ask me for advice or ask me for my opinion, let's just say, on a topic was massive. It was on a massive scale. And that's where I go back to the whole cosmetic side of things, of changing the exterior. Because there have been cases of girls, of young millennials that have been stuck in a rut. I remember us doing an article in 2015 about a girl called Evita Sarmonicas. And she actually traveled to Mexico when she was 29 years old to get buttock implants. The procedure went completely wrong. It was a procedure that was supposed to take 2.5 hours, but the doctor was incapable. He didn't know what he was doing, and the poor girl died. And she would have been 34 years old this year. Her family actually has said that she was suffering from a mental illness and battling with the whole image and self-worth. So she had those issues. If I was in the position, and I'm not saying that what the parents did was wrong or right, that's not what I'm here for, but that's where somebody's got to step in. If you see somebody like this that needs your help, or that's querying about cosmetic surgery or any procedures, augmentation, liposuction, fillers, whatever it is, talk to them. And especially if you know that they're young and they haven't grown, they haven't flourished like a beautiful flower in regards to their mental state. Because as they grow older, they learn more and more about themselves. It's a crucial time. Even when the child is so young, it needs its time to flourish in order to learn, to realize who they really are in this lifetime, you know? So I would be there and I would be supporting them. There's other places that actually the parents enforce plastic surgery onto their kids, so onto their daughters. So for example, in Korea, you have parents that give their children birthday presents of cosmetic surgery when they're 18. What does a child know when they're 18? I'm sorry, but what does it know? It doesn't know anything. When I was 18, what did I know? I knew to go out, have a good time with my friends, come back home and go to bed. I didn't know, oh my God, my parents are going to give me, you know, like a plastic surgery voucher, or I'm going to go and get my face done, or my lips done, or my boobs done, or my ass done, you know. It was never enforced that way. And I get that it's their demographic. I get it's part of their culture or tradition, but it doesn't mean I need to actually agree with it, because I don't. When you're at that space in your life, when you're that young, you don't know. Because as I said, you're not mature enough to know. You only go what's being shown to you. You do go by what's being shown to you. If somebody tells you this is right, this is wrong, it's exactly like when you see something and you're like, okay, so somebody said this, maybe it is. But if you're able to question it, as I am at this age and younger, depends on the maturity level, right? If you're able to question what is going on, you're more inclined to take a step back and say, you know what? I'm not getting plastic surgery done. I am not going to change my image because of what people are saying to me. I am not going to let them make me sit there and cry. I'm not going to sit there in a corner and be like this and go, oh my God, I can't believe this, or let it get to me. But the pressures are real. All I have to say to you guys is help these kids, help society, because Evita was beautiful. And if you guys go onto the Nails Cosmos website, you'll be able to find it all there. It was also in the Sydney Morning Herald. So it was 2015. Her sister actually was in Mexico still at that time, fighting for the justice of her sister's death because so many things went wrong. And that actual doctor had used a billboard of Kim Kardashian, no surprise, illegally, and he was actually vouched as being incapable. And remember, our regulations are so much different in Australia. I get it's cheaper in Mexico, but if you do get a procedure done, please get it done somewhere where the regulations are legit and you know that you're not going to be put in a position where you're going to take your own life. At the end of the day, would you rather have breast implants or would you have your life? I'd rather have my life. Regardless of how big mine are, I would give my life more than anything because living life is so beautiful. At the end of the day, that's the reason why this message is so important to me, because the story we did was so sad, and I'm hoping that it'll help so many more out there, so many more people out there. There are so many other stories. You look up cosmetic surgery in Australia and people that have died, and you will see there are a million of them, but no reporting on them. And it's because the cosmetic surgery is $1 billion business. Why would they want to report that so many things are going wrong? They don't want to lose the money, right? Why? It's a health risk. To get it done for small procedures or things that you want because you want them, that's fine. But not because we're going out there because we're seeing celebrities, we're seeing that person and that person on Instagram who's an influencer, or somebody that the men think that is attractive because she's got, these big lips, or they're all examples of what our society has come to because of the influence it's taken over. And that's where we need to educate these kids and educate our society in order to make it so magnificent and glorious again. Andrew, I'm going to do this for you right now. Cheers. Cheers to saving kids. Cheers to helping them with fundamental issues in their lives. And cheers to us being there for them when they need us to be there for them. Because it's an underlying issue that we have in our society that we need to address now. Not to wait, not to sit there and pretend it's not there, not to shy away from the truth behind it. And we need to bring out the best in them. So whatever the best in them is, we need to do that. Cheers to saving the most vulnerable. Exactly. Because there are so many. There are so many out there that are vulnerable, that need us. We more or less need to stand up together. Depending who you are, depending what you see, Get out there, guys. Make it work. You know, we're Australian at the end of the day. We can do this. And we're a multicultural community where we know so many people, you know, like we've been put in that position that we're able to help and we're able to support people. Like I changed my life, everyone can change theirs for the better, and we need to help them. I could have gone and done whatever to my face or whatever to my body, but I didn't because it wasn't what I wanted to do. It wasn't what I believed to do. What I believe to do is being the mentor, the entrepreneur of what Dee thinks, who is there for her millennials, who is there for that generation, because they need me. They need me and I need them. They're beautiful. I get so educated from them. And so many of them are so smart, even smarter than our generations, because they know so much. That's where we need to guide them and not sit there and be like, oh, she's so young. And, you know, you always learn. You know, knowledge is power, as they say, but these youngins, they're going to teach us so much more. They're going to be the leaders, the doctors, the everything. We need to be there, especially within this topic, because it's horrible. It's a horrible topic that someone has to die for, you know? Anyway, that's me, and that's a wrap again for Thursdays, which has been amazing. Any questions, comments, anything you have, send them through. Obviously, we're on again for Monday's Love Talk with Dee. We're actually doing a sex talk, just to tell you guys. It's not really a love talk, it's a more sex talk. So we're going to go into an amazing topic, and it's going to be a lot of fun, like it always is. But send through questions, anything you guys want to, and then I'll see you guys on Monday for Dee Talk Live. Love. See you guys. I love you so much.